welcome to the Debrief 3.
Woo! Oh, you do that one thing?
So how has our day been? How's our week been?
It's midterm!
Yeah.
Woo!
This
Yes.
month has been like EastEnders.
Dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun.
That's what
Yeah.
like it's a pop.
Yeah. But what's wonderful is we have a week off and then we have a bank holiday. Well,
Holiday.
Yes.
it's not public holiday, not bank holiday.
I don't
but
know
you
about that.
Wonderful. So we have like the week and a long weekend. Oh,
And after that, there's also some holidays
Yes.
interspersed
Yeah.
in the week. So
I might be jet lagged.
going far, huh?
I'm going very far from the UK.
Different time zone.
Yes.
oh yeah.
Oh, it
Small.
is. 2 years.
On that note,
Yeah.
if you could teach any subject that doesn't exist, what would it be?
Ooh.
I'll start.
Yes,
yeah,
start.
please.
I would
give some
teach a
inspiration.
subject just on movies, like films, like just
Oh.
Yeah.
we watch film, we watch clips, we discuss it, how you film, everything, like all that. You know.
I would teach like, I was gonna say like graphic design, but it does exist.
I don't
But-
mind it.
But in
But
primary,
not in primary, it doesn't.
No.
Like how to make edit pictures and
yes.
all that kind of programming. I would just teach programming, like be done. Like I know it's part of computer, but like those little
As in-
butchery
yeah.
things of like, or making posters, making. Oh, I love all that.
Hmm.
Yeah. I would teach that.
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
I don't know.
What do you like to do?
Play badminton.
There you go.
But
Badminton
it has some
lesson.
PE though.
Well, we could do.
We could just do badminton on its own.
Yeah.
Like skills
Yeah.
of badminton, like actual like cheat codes of badminton, how to win.
My mind games.
Right.
I love a mind game.
Badminton mind games.
Here, just psychology.
Gal, I think
In
you'd be
primary.
perfect. Yeah,
Mhm.
you would be perfect.
I think I remember I was trying to say it's irrelevant. I was playing this girl once and she used to scream and shout every time she got a point. And I lost the first set because I got really annoyed. And then I thought I'm just gonna go on and I'm just gonna start screaming and shout.
Yeah.
Which isn't good. I knew I shouldn't have done it. But I got it on and I got the point and I went, yes, like that, and the girl went, "Oh." Yeah, I can scream too.
I think that's why I always like watching men's tennis, because the women's tennis, I noticed a lot of them always
Yeah.
screamed and shut. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always put me off. But otherwise, I would have watched.
Yeah.
women's
Have you
tennis.
watched those videos? We're not on a tangent of like tennis players mic'd up.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious! Have you? Right, you need to watch those.
Okay.
It was like I think it was Djokovic was like mic'd up, and he just was like making weird comments, but it was stuff that we wouldn't normally hear because obviously you
You
don't
can't
hear
hear
it.
it,
But
yeah.
it was just so funny.
Oh,
I would say
Yeah.
I would
It's
say
very
things
funny.
to myself if I was playing like singles. I would say
Yeah.
where's the gack? Why you do that? Why you don't hit that? And like I would just talk to myself the whole time.
Out loud.
Oh yeah, guys.
Ooh.
I remember I may have said something, but obviously I apologise because I got really angry.
That's good. It's good to apologize.
I was like, I heard I was screaming anyway.
Right.
You know, sometimes we lose it, but if we apologize, it's all
Right.
good.
I used to throw my racket in the air when I was
Mm.
like, whoa, like
Oh,
that.
you're an Auntie Maria.
And then I remember once I was at a competition. I think I was like 15 or 16,
Mm.
and I threw my racket like that because I lost, and it went onto another court. And then I got really bad. I got told off, and I was like,
I'm
I
sure.
was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Gal.
Mm.
All right.
I had such an anger issue where I lost.
But I find sport brings that out of you.
Yeah.
Like
The competitiveness
yeah,
just comes
yeah.
out.
Well, all right now, like I don't do it anymore.
Mm.
That's what you have to go through these. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
It really is.
I'm still here.
Right. First question. So today's topic is independence. Independent learners. How do we encourage that in the class? Hi. What are the key differences between a teacher-directed classroom and one that encourages student independence? So like a teacher-led, everything's teacher-led and everything, or student encouraged.
I've had a child teach a lesson for me.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Well, stole an idea from you actually. So.
Still an idea from
Yeah.
neighborhood.
They
That's just short for me
exchange,
too.
yeah, exchange their dojo points and they teach the lesson. And sometimes they listen a little bit better, which I was like,
Because it's something
rude.
different.
Yeah. But I think sometimes they're more engaged. Like if they are involved in the activity.
Mm.
And also they're going to enjoy it more because they know that they have to actually do the work.
Mm.
Because I think sometimes they're a little lazy. You know, when it's us, they're like, oh, Miss is just going to tell me the answers anyway in a few minutes, so I'll just wait. And I'm like, no, but like, you know, group
I
work
do
and
find I'm
stuff,
guilty
yeah.
of that, like
Mm.
babying them too much.
Yes.
It's like, actually, no, you could do this. You
Yeah.
Just
know?
get them involved in the lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I've been talking for 5 minutes and I haven't spoken to them, then I'm like, oh, hold on. Hello, you are still here.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I think I'm also aware, like, it's different for different classes. The class I have at the moment, they very quickly zone out, and I can see it in their
oh,
faces.
yeah.
So I'm always aware, like, right, I need to stop right now and
Mhm.
ask a question
Yeah.
and get them to
Yeah.
talk or do something, because they just can't concentrate for any length of time.
Yeah.
Right.
My class are a bit different though, because my class are quite like, I don't know, they can't concentrate for a long time, but it depends what it is. So like in history, they all like history, and I could just talk and talk, and they're like pretty content enough just listening, because then they ask questions throughout, and then I just I don't mind it. I get them to discuss it, but they could listen to history or geography. They don't like geography in my class, but geography is a bit of an iffy subject for me because I really like it myself, but
I know.
I do
it's hard.
try.
Do you think that rubs off on them?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
for
you
me,
don't like it,
if you're not
yeah.
as
for
passionate
me it
about
does,
something.
yeah.
Well, my subject knowledge in history is better than my subject knowledge in geography.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
you
Mm.
That's true. Yeah.
I remember one of my teaching placements. So it was the tutor told me, she was like, you're just getting them to do things, and you're teaching at them, but they're not learning. And I just remember thinking, like, what? Like, how can I be doing this? You know, it's so
Yeah.
terrible. Like, I'm training for this and
Yeah.
everything, but then she was showing me how, and I was like, oh yeah, because I'm so used to
Mhm.
also very old school. Is like, here's the knowledge, learn
Yeah.
it. Here's the knowledge, learn
Yeah.
it.
And you copied from the board constantly.
Yes.
And you
Which
just listen
has
and
its
listen.
place, but if
Of course
it's the
it
whole
does,
way
but yeah,
through,
yeah.
no.
I know. Like their love for the subject will go. Like they're not
Yeah.
going to learn to love it. Yeah.
I think because I like maths, and then when I teach
Yeah.
maths, they're a bit more involved in it because
Yeah.
they do that cooking.
I wouldn't say maths is my strongest subject,
Mm.
but they love it. So then I think that helps me
Yes.
to teach it more
Yeah.
because I know I'm like, let's do games, let's do all of this.
Yeah.
Like for me, I love history, I love like Bible, I love all the written subjects that you could write in
Yeah.
English. Like I do like
Do you know what,
English.
English is growing on me a wee bit.
That's good, yeah. I know. But I'm trying to project my enthusiasm onto them, and they're like, so.
I just
Yeah.
love when we did fractions. I was like so enthusiastic about it. And they're like, Miss, what's wrong with you? I was like,
Let's get excited.
It definitely makes
Yeah.
a difference. I had a class, they just were obsessed with science. And for
Mm.
me, science is always, ugh.
Yeah.
yeah.
But because they loved it so much, I ended up loving it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Depends
true.
the kids like. as well.
Yeah.
My kids are quite strong in maths. So, as you saw, Sarah.
Yeah. So, what are the common challenges teachers face when trying to promote student independence?
Loads of questions.
Yeah. They don't want to as well,
Yeah.
or their lack of belief that they can do it.
They don't have the confidence.
No
Yeah.
confidence.
I think as well when they're collaborating, oftentimes they're just more tempted to talk about what they did yesterday and not the actual
Yeah.
questions. So
that's
then
true.
they're relying on
Yeah.
someone else to come up
Yes.
with the answer.
Mhm.
Because they're smart enough to figure out that somebody will do it for them.
Yeah.
So I've stopped letting them pick their groups if we do anything, and I just dojo whack it on in the
Uh-huh.
group maker, and all I can hear is them.
Yeah.
But I've done, because I only learned recently that you can say don't pair so and so and so.
Oh.
So I do that. So literally all the friendship groups are not allowed to be
Mm.
together. So they haven't figured this out yet, and it's funny because then they keep going, "Why am I not with my friends?" Like, no.
Interesting that.
You ever used the randomizer on Dojo?
Yes.
Mm.
So I used it and it never picked a specific person in my class. So it started, I was quite concerned myself. I could never pick
Yeah.
them. And then they picked up on it. Everyone in the
Yeah.
class there was like, never picks them. And I'm like, I know. Then one day I just hit it and it landed on him and they all went berserk.
I find it's fair, and it picks them.
Yeah.
If it picks one kid, it wouldn't pick them again.
Yeah.
My
For a
spin.
round.
Have
Yeah.
you done the spinner built in on the board?
Yes.
it picks the same kids over and
But
over.
isn't there an option that you can change that? I'm pretty sure there's an
Oh,
option.
well, I'll look into that
Yeah.
because the problem is then if
I
we're
can't
doing a
do it.
game and they press it, sometimes I get the same name
Yeah.
3 times in a row, and I was like,
don't you want to
"How
like
did-"
it?
I also find as well, like in terms of they leave the chair out or they're messy or like they're not independent that way or
Yes.
picking up the
Yeah.
bags, coming in.
But some of the kids are so independent that way.
Uh,
Like
Yes.
actually, that's better than their schoolwork.
Yeah.
Like I have girls who will always clean up the classroom. They want to clean the stuff for art.
Yeah.
They push their chairs in. They'll clean the desks. They'll
Yeah.
just tidy the books. And it's like they're like, Miss, I do this at home for my mom. I'm like, but I'm like, that's independence.
yeah.
I've
and
got boys
life
who love
skills.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just as important. And you can tell the kids that everyone does something for them at home.
Yeah.
Miss,
Yeah.
can you tie my shoelace? No,
No.
because you are now grade 3. And I don't. I said, you really can't do it. You need to find someone else that will do it for you. And I've one kid in the class, and he is the shoelace tire. They all just come up to him and go, oh. And I'm like, no. So, yeah. Those kind of things. Like, I'm like, they need to be independent. But then some are so over independent. I'm like, no, just chill. You know?
Some of them I
just be a
think
child.
some of them think they're older than they are.
100%.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like,
Mhm.
not even like the way they speak and stuff. It's just knowing how to do things, and I'm just like, okay, stop talking to me now. You know, I'm like, yeah.
Some of them help me with the computer sometimes, which is quite funny.
Oh, I wish mine would.
Maybe
They
she have to
don't.
hit the delete.
Mine just watch me struggle and they laugh. I'm like,
Look, Sarah.
Oh.
so they know how much I hate the computers.
Well, one kid always comes up. If he sees me stressing, he would come up and he'd go,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
I was like, thank you.
That's nice.
They can actually quite teach IT for me, not gonna lie. Because
Depends on what it is.
yeah, they're
it's true.
very like when I said like there's all the boys in my class who just know how to work the computers so well. So independent in IT, I never have to go near them and they just
Yeah.
do stuff.
I find as well tests if or reading questions. They don't read it properly, and then they just can't.
Your class.
Oh,
I
they are
covered.
desperate.
I covered for 5 minutes literally while Laura ran out of the room to do something. So like just ran away. She ran
Bye.
away. And I was like, does Miss Laura read the question? Miss.
Do they do
Miss.
that with you too?
That's what
Oh, I
they're
don't go
constant-
near them though.
And I was like, what's wrong? Can you read it to me? And I was like, yeah.
No, I only read it to like
Oh.
specific students because I
Yes,
know
that
that
you-
they need
Yes,
progression.
yes.
But some of them, I think, just don't have belief in themselves.
Yes.
They have studied for it,
Yes.
and they just don't. They just freak out in tests.
Literally.
My class were shocking. You will see, like for this next
Yeah,
year, you'll see next year,
yeah.
Sarah. They hate tests with a passion, but then they ask me for more tests.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
where is the logic?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
No.
So I gave them like 3
Yeah.
tests one week because everything just happened to fall once, and then they're like, "Miss, why are you giving us so many tests?" I'm like, "You're asking me for more tests like a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago." I'm like,
Yeah. I have a kid that is in maths especially. She will like start her work and she hasn't. I know she hasn't read it. Straight up to me, "Hello, Miss Hannah." She does it the same way every time. And I'm like, "Hello, have you read it? Okay, read it now." And then she does it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's like, "I don't know, no confidence."
no confidence.
But she'll look at me. She'll go,
So sad though.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, just
There's so
do
many
it,
kids
I
in my class and they
know."
have no confidence. They always get over like 80% in their
know.
tests. I'm like,
Right.
You are fantastic.
like, I don't know why you were stressing. Oh well.
You know, our spelling words this week were all ending in G, spelled G-U-E, and then like the K sound Q-U-E or whatever. So one unique was one of them. And my sentence was, "You are all unique, grade 3." And they're like, "Oh, thank you, Miss Hannah." And I was like, "Sure, that's the way I meant it." And then they're like, "You're unique too." And I was like, "I know."
Aren't we all?
I was like, "Boost your confidence, come on."
I was like that in school as well. I had no confidence in myself. I just like think, oh, I can't do it.
And then you give up.
I think it's the Northern Irish mindset. Because when I was P7, I remember this. I don't even care if they see this, but my teacher in P7 wasn't a big fan of her. She was so scary. And she treated all the kids who were going to the grammar school differently to the kids who were going to state school.
Sounds
So
familiar.
yeah, so all the smarter kids that were going to the grammar school sat on one side and they were on their own table.
No.
Yeah. And no, I was actually in the middle. So the teacher was like, right, me and this other kid, David, we sat with the grammar school lot, but we were going to the high school.
Yeah.
So if we were doing maths activities, the teacher would move me and David to that table with the state school lot.
Yeah. But it's bad that you knew that.
Oh yeah.
Because we do differentiate in groups and stuff, but
then,
the
But
kids
what's
should
the
never
point
know.
in moving location? Is it just as easier for her to go to one group than the other?
But the kids that were going to the grammar school, like, were my friends. So
Yeah.
then I was like, I think it's the parents. One of those, the parents had the mindset that, you know, you're really smart if you go to a grammar school, and if they're going to high school, like, just look down on them.
Not necessarily.
But sometimes, like, the kids have that mindset, and then
Yeah, it's
there
not
was
good.
there was one kid actually, and he was my friend, and we were both going to the high school, and we both got picked on because we were going to a high school and not a grammar school. And it's like,
Yeah. But I know people who've gone to a grammar school who are not using their degree, or they're not doing anything.
yep,
Like,
so
you
did
know?
I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't help either way
No, it doesn't.
because they think they've made it,
Yeah.
and then the others.
I know. Yeah.
I
terrible.
I remember when I was about 9 or 10, and this man asked me, I was playing bowls, you know, this is my long green bowls era, and they asked me, this old man asked me, like, what do you want to be when you're older? And I said, oh, I'd like to be a teacher. Now, I think I was like 9 or 10 or something at the time, but I remember this so well, I'll never forget. And he said, oh, what school are you going to? And I was like, well, probably the high school. And he went, oh, you'll never be a teacher if you go there. That's what he said to me.
Look at us now.
Look at me now.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
How can teachers get students to think about their own learning and reflect on how they're doing?
I find this the hardest thing to do in class, because I don't know if it's my current class, are obsessed with what each other have done. Like, I can't get them into the mindset of, look at your book.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, they copy answers, or weekly spelling tests, which to be honest, I don't care about their weekly spelling tests. I'm sorry to say I don't. Because it's, can they use the words in their writing is more important.
Yeah.
They've studied for that test, they've learned. Anyway. You see if they like
Another
go
story.
on- another story.
Next
I
week.
give it out, like, I start shouting their names, and literally everyone, what'd you get? What'd you get? I'm like, who cares? Like, you focus on what you're doing.
I always say before I give out a test, I'm like, if someone doesn't want to say their score, they do not have
Yes,
to.
same. They do not need to tell you.
I
that.
actually ban them. I'm like, you're not
Yeah.
allowed to show each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
terrible. But I'm like, take it home.
I know.
It's no one's business. Because I know some feel pressured to show it,
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
and then they don't want
No.
to.
Because it's like me, I'm trying. I know they're only grade 3 and they are young, but I'm like, you need to make sure that you can do the work and not the person beside you. And I get a little bit annoyed with the kids who finish early, who then try and go and help the kids who aren't doing their work,
Yeah.
because they're actually just telling them the answers.
Yes.
So they finish, and I'm like, I know you can do it,
Yeah.
but I now don't know if they can
I
do
do,
it.
I know.
And then the other kid's like, but I can. I was like, well,
Yeah.
prove it to me. So it's like, I need to know you can do it.
I had a copying scandal, and
Yeah.
it was my placement class last year. It was a big scandal. Now they were doing fractions, and I remember one kid, she came up to me and she finished all her work.
Yeah.
I was like, it was White Rose. She's done all 4 pages. And
Oh.
I was like, she's never done all 4 pages.
You know.
I was like, okay. So then I took it and then I was marking them, and then I looked at the kid who always finished 4 pages, and I looked at theirs and I was like, right, she's got the same one wrong as
Yep.
he has.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, there's something not adding up here. And then I asked her about it. She went, yeah, that's my copy. I was like, well, thanks for admitting it, but don't do it again.
I always find that I'm like, funny. I always do big dramatic me. Like, funny how 2 people sitting together manage to get the same question wrong,
Yeah.
and then you see them. Like,
Who got it wrong first?
Or like, sometimes your eyes may be attracted to another book, and then you just
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let your eyes wander.
There was a teacher I used to, I think I still follow her on YouTube. She's called Teacher is Happy. She's an Australian teacher. She's really good. Shout out.
Follow us.
Yeah. But she does. Oh, I just love her displays that she do. And there was one she always did, and it was a learning goals display. The kids had little sheets that they would stick up, and it was their learning goal for like, and when they achieved it, they got to take it off, write a new one, put it on, and or they kept it on underneath, so it was at the end they could take it. And she used it like consistently. And I was like, that's really good because they're actually reflecting on their learning, and then they come up with their own learning goal.
You know then if they actually understand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can't always catch the kids that cheat. Oh, the kids that copy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
kids are very good at
they
copying.
are. But then when you do a little self-reflection, then they're a bit more honest. They're like, yes, I don't actually get it.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like up, middle, down. But some of my kids are always like this. And I'm like, well, you got all the answers right. What do you mean you're like this? So I'm more confused.
This is quite funny actually. I know we're going off on real tangents this week, but this is actually quite funny. So we were doing the spelling test on Monday. We did it on Monday. And
I do them Monday too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, all of the Key Stage 2 teachers had this meeting to do this. And
No. We didn't have
I
any
didn't have a meeting. I just had a private conversation with Andrea.
Same. To blame Andrea.
Yeah, the three of you forgot that I am part of Key Stage 2, and you didn't.
I had no idea she was doing it.
No,
I
Andrea is
just-
the one to blame here because she's talking to us individually.
No, but it was
So
just
she
a
obviously
genuine
forgot.
discussion, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
try that."
You all think I'm still lower primary, and I'm not.
Right, can I tell you my story?
Yes, sorry.
So we're doing the spell test.
On a Monday?
Yeah, on a Monday.
You do it on a Monday.
No, I do it on Friday. Friday.
Right.
The
We were
rest of the
doing
week.
our spelling test. We're doing the spelling test, and then kids put up their hands, and I'm like, yes. And they said, this is the funniest question I think I've ever been asked. In a spelling test, does the spelling count? I was like, right.
Think
And
about what
every-
you
And
just
I, and I just went, right. Right. I was like, we're doing a spelling test. And then they went, oh. Yeah. I think it's okay. It's Monday morning.
I see, that's why you do it on Friday.
Someone's better over there.
You could always change it if you want and
I
start
have a
doing it on
midterm.
Monday.
No, I do. I get it because you'll forget about me. You think grade 3's not? I'm part of you guys.
Look, I genuinely
forget
did
about
not
it.
know she was involved,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, Andrea, I'm going to try that out and see if it
Yeah.
works."
Fine.
So I'm sorry,
We'll get
it
over
was unintentional. I had no idea you do it on a Monday too.
Blame Andrea. She's the one spreading the news.
Andrea is a great idea and it's working wonders.
Andrea, we love you.
Yes,
Andrea, please come on the podcast.
we'll have her. Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Can you share an example of a lesson or activity where students took responsibility of their learning?
Ooh.
I'll start.
Yeah, go.
So, because this is where I got the idea for the topic. So, so I was asking the kids, like, it suddenly occurred to me, a lot of them don't even, I'd say go home and study it, and they don't know how to study. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. So then one of the girls was sharing in my class a study method that she uses, and I was like, that's so good. 30 minutes studying and then 5 minutes off, and then 30 minutes, whatever. So I was like, okay. And then I had the idea of let's incorporate this in the class and have a revision lesson. So it was geography. So I said, right, let's start. So we used the timer. The first 5 minutes, you're all going to read. You can highlight, read, that's it. The next 5 minutes, you close your file and you brain dump, right, as much as you can remember on a sticky note. And then the next 5 minutes, you open your folder, see if anything's missing, add something. And the next 5 minutes, you're going to teach it to the person opposite you. And then after that, they teach theirs.
Wish I observed
to you.
that, Sarah.
It was
sounds amazing.
Oh, you know
yellow.
This was all from the girl in my class. She was like, she just said this, and I was like, I'll do this.
I wish I did that when I was in school.
That
That
actually
sounds like a
works.
good
It
idea.
does work.
I used to be a mind map kind of girl, but
I still do it in class. I get the kids up.
Yes.
mind
They
map.
love it.
Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, when they brain dump, they do a little mind map.
Yeah.
They do little visuals and stuff. But it's the teaching part that's really the nicest. You just see them, they've maybe drawn something and
They
they're
get
teaching
excited,
person
yeah.
opposite, and they're learning too. So then I said, you guys can do this at home
Yeah.
as well.
That's my favorite parts of my math lessons when I'm like, it's always Tiny's always wrong in White Rose,
Well,
but sometimes he's one time he's not, and I'm like, all right, Tiny.
Oh.
Little turtle, and he's like always wrong, and it's like explain your answer. Like, hey, tell your partner why. That's my favorite part, just hearing them explain it, and I'm like, oh, they listen.
Aw.
And that's when like, or if the kid didn't understand, having their partner tell them why,
That's
and then they
good.
go, "Oh, what that makes sense now." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Because when you
Like,
teach
yeah.
something,
Come on.
you learn it, you know, really well.
Champions League.
Yes. Anyway.
But like, I don't know, that just makes me so happy that
Mm.
they listened, but they also independently can
Yeah.
tell. I'm like,
Yeah.
it makes it all worth it.
We did a thing today where they wrote down a 6-digit number in
Mhm.
maths in their whiteboards, and they had to they had to hide it from their partner, and then their partner had to guess the number. So they'd ask, but they were only like yes or no questions.
Yeah.
They couldn't. I did say you can't ask them is it this number. So I said it's gonna take you a while because it's 6 digits,
Yeah.
but they said like is your tens less than 70, and then they went no. And then they go, "Oh, good." And I looked at one kid. One kid had like all the numbers written out and crossed them out as they went
Oh,
along.
it's like a
that's
proper,
good.
yeah. That sounds cool.
And I didn't know they loved doing that. You get an idea about the board, so I was like, just do it with your partner.
Good idea.
Independent learning.
Yes. And actually, at the end of that lesson, I looked at them all and I said, "Did you notice throughout all of that, your teacher did nothing? I just pressed the button for the timer."
just sat there.
Yeah. And they were like, "Oh yeah." I said, "You were all."
Do not mark. I've been tempted.
Stop.
I am awful for that, you know. You know, when you set a kid, especially some subjects, when the worksheet I do not need to help them with,
Mm.
I sit down and mark something. I'm like,
Oh yes, yeah,
so naughty.
yeah.
Because
No,
I'm always like, I'm supposed to walk. I know I'm supposed to like.
well, I would have, but I knew some of them wouldn't
Yeah.
be teaching or would be
Oh,
talking about,
see,
so
no.
that's why I
Yeah,
was
it's like,
like,
know your class.
yeah.
Well, when they're doing their Bible word search, I'm not gonna lie, the math books are getting marked because
We're search like
I know. Go for it. Go nuts.
we did a thing
Yeah.
in Bible. We did we were doing like a recap on Jonah. I think it was Jonah, and I numbered them 1, 2 with their partner, and then number 2s had 30 seconds to tell number 1 as much about Jonah as they could remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I like doing that.
that's
And
good.
then one was
a
filling
good
the
study
gaps.
method.
They missed and stuff. It's quite good actually. And then there was a group of 3. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
right. I went right. The third person, you're just going to tell the whole class in 30 seconds. And they're like,
Jonah does this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nineveh.
He didn't want to go.
Yeah. We fled.
And he got on the ship. And then they threw him off.
Yeah. And then a fish came.
Yeah. Well, we
Big
had
fish?
this, a fish.
Yeah.
We had this argument of was it a whale? And I was like, it was not. 'Cause
Yeah.
the Bible does not tell me it was a whale.
But maybe it was a whale.
But everyone
It might have
assumes
been.
it's an
Now you
whale
see,
because
but
it's a big fish.
I think God made the fish for that purpose and time that it just appeared. Nope. And it.
Could have been the
When I was a
Leviathan.
kid, though, I always thought it was a whale because, like, all the Sunday school teachers would say Jonah and the whale.
Yeah.
And then now, when I was like, oh, it doesn't even
Come
say.
listen to my tale of
Jonah
Jonah and the whale.
Way
Down in the middle
Right.
of the ocean, ocean, ocean.
How did he get there?
Whatever did he
There's something
wear?
about me when you sing it, it's weird.
Brother and Bob Gal.
I'm not Devin, so.
No excuse, you can still sing it.
What are the words, Sarah?
Well, we will sing it for you.
The Presbyterian Bob, God is Lord. Postman Pat version.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. You were there for that, Sarah.
I did, I came in, and then you said get out. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
we read it.
I wanted to stay and
No,
listen.
No, but me and Hannah didn't want to lose people there because
If it because risk factor, brand new song, and I'm playing the piano, which they're not used to.
but next time I do
It could have gone
something,
wrong, but
I could
actually,
stay.
yeah, you
Thanks. Can I stay next time,
Yeah.
please? All right.
Yeah.
It was good. I wanted to stay, actually. I'm still, that's okay. I made myself coffee.
Oh, there you survived.
did.
Well, thank you. That was
Yeah.
that was probably my longest
I know.
episode yet.
I like the topic though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because we're all strong, independent women.
Women, we don't need no
We
man.
don't need no men. I think because we are such independent teachers,
We're promoting independent
Yes.
learners.
we are.
Yeah.
But it's it is honestly one of my biggest things is like, kids do like, come on,
They need to.
You want
Yeah.
something done?
do it yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Me moving my furniture around my room this morning. Laura came in, 7:10 this morning, I was rearranging my classroom.
Aye.
Because why not?
you like
I
to
heard
do
it.
that.
I
She heard
heard
it.
the whole big shelf when I was going down the other way.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll leave it here.
We'll have to go down and see what the layout is now.
But it was just
Hmm.
a bookcase go, wasn't it?
There we go.
Anyway, yeah.
On that note, go and
Yes.
move a bookcase.
And no episode next week.
Yeah.
because we are on midterm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So
We'll
we'll
be,
see you in 2 weeks.
yes,
Mhm.
Woo.
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye.